same hardship every day. They understand unemployment, they understand poverty, and the daily struggle to make ends meet. Many commuters can testify that taxi operators have often shown compassion where circumstances required it, because this industry has always understood that behind every commuter is a family trying to survive. That is why our work has always centered on one objective, and that is providing safe, reliable, and accessible public transport. Whether through the Tlhokomela Road Safety Campaign or partnerships with government, civil society, and the private sector, our efforts have consistently focused on improving safety and strengthening public transport. And that remains our mission today. Ladies and gentlemen, much of the concerns appear to stem from our participation in last week's joint media briefing alongside the leadership of the South African Police Services. And allow me to clarify why we participated. The purpose of that engagement was never to position Santco as an extension of law enforcement. It was never to discourage South Africans from exercising their democratic rights. It was never to suggest that Santco would participate in enforcing immigration laws or policing communities. Our participation served one purpose only, and that is to reassure the millions of commuters who depend on taxis every day that public transport would remain available to them on the 30th of June. While South African Police Services reassured the country that it would fulfill its constitutional responsibility of maintaining public safety. These are two completely different responsibilities, dear fellow South Africans. The responsibility of SAPS is to maintain public safety, and the responsibility of South African National Taxi Council is to transport the public safely so. Those responsibilities complement one another, but they should never be confused. I think everyone has seen the message from the organizers of the March and March. They were saying and emphasizing that criminals must not use this as an opportunity to do their criminal activities. So, Santco has always respected the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa. That Constitution guarantees every South African the right to peaceful protest, and we respect that right. We have never opposed peaceful protest as Santco. We have never sought to discourage South Africans from expressing legitimate concerns. At the same time, constitutional rights are exercised alongside constitutional responsibilities. Our consistent appeal has simply been that every demonstration should remain peaceful, lawful, and free from violence, intimidation, and criminality. That is not a new position. It is the same appeal we made on the 16th of June this year. And it is the same appeal we have made whenever South Africa has experienced periods of heightened tension. We remember the painful events of May 2008, and we remember the devastating events of July 2021. Those experiences taught us that when violence overtakes legitimate protests, it is ordinary South Africans who suffer first. In those instances, lives are lost, jobs disappear, businesses are destroyed, and public infrastructure is damaged. Communities spent years rebuilding what was lost in a matter of days. Our appeal has, therefore, always been one responsibility. Not because we oppose the protest, but because we value human life, economic stability, and social cohesion. There has always been considerable discussions regarding Santco's position on undocumented immigrants. Allow me to state our position clearly. And our position, Santco does not determine immigration policy. Santco does not enforce immigration legislation. Those responsibilities belong to the relevant government departments and law enforcement agencies established in terms of the South African law. Our responsibility is purely public transport and nothing more and nothing less. Equally, Santco has never and will never support lawlessness of any kind. South Africa is a constitutional democracy governed by the rule of law. Every person within our boundaries, our borders, deserves to be treated in accordance with the law, with dignity and with respect for the Constitution. And we cannot in any way promote illegal activities in our country. As an industry that also facilitates cross-border passenger transport throughout the Southern Africa region, represented by one of our colleagues in Tatelumbela here with us, we are equally mindful that instability and hostility have consequences beyond our borders. Thousands of South Africans earn honest livelihoods through regional transport and trade. Preserving peaceful relations within our region is therefore not only a moral responsibility, but also an important economic consideration. Fellow South Africans, whether one supports tomorrow's demonstrations or disagrees with them is not for Santco to determine. As much as I've said Santco is part of communities, we are not restricted, or we are not restricting our members not to participate or to participate. That is a choice, and it's an individual choice. That is a matter of individual conscience. Our responsibility is far simpler and important. Our responsibility is to ensure that every person who needs public transport tomorrow, whether traveling to work, to hospital, to school, to a funeral, to visit a family, or even to go to a march for any other lawful purpose and access that transport, you can access our transport safely so. And we are saying that is the commitment we are making today. Tomorrow, taxi services will operate across the country. Where local operators identify genuine safety risks, appropriate operational decisions will be taken to safeguard commuters, employees, and infrastructure. Finally, to those South Africans who felt disappointed by our participation in last week's media briefing, we thank you for making concerns known. If our communication created an impression different from what we intended, we appreciate the opportunity to clarify our position today. Our commitment remains unchanged. We remain committed to saving every commuter without fear or favor. We remain committed to working with all stakeholders in protecting the stability of our country. And above all, we remain committed to moving South Africa safely. May tomorrow be peaceful. May every South African be safe. And may God continue to bless and guard South Africa and her people. I thank you.